Okay, buongiorno coders. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Akshay, and I am an indie maker and a career no coder. My personal mission is to empower individuals all across the globe to bring their ideas to life. And I started my journey back when I was like 6 years old in this picture. Like the first thing that I discovered was drag and drop and MS Paint, and I was hooked. For the next 2 years, all I did was like design graphics and like print coasters and like just do stuff with the printer. Um, the next big thing I discovered was like no-code tools. Even before they were called no-code, they were just simple drag and drop editors that could help you build websites. And I started by building websites for my school, for the colony, and just for the community. And soon I discovered platforms like Fiverr and Freelancer. So my thing was pretty simple. I just needed like 2 pizzas a week and some money for the video games. And I was like, oh, Indians are trying to undercut the Americans and the Europeans by like doing websites for like $100. Let me undercut them by doing it for $10. And it worked. I mean, it worked for like 8 years until I realized that maybe $10 is not that sustainable. Um, but in these 10 years, I discovered that my calling was to just help people ship their ideas. And I loved doing it so much that I turned it into an agency. Then I created like a company out of it. And I sold that company when I was 15 um, to get back into what I really want to do. And I am all in on what we say is the no code and the AI marriage that we just entered in. Yes, last year I had this choice where I could like either go to a very fancy uni or spend the next 3 years trying to build what I really wanted to. I wanted to help founders all across the world like discover these crucial problems that needed to be solved, and I wanted to give them that ability to solve it because I have been there in their shoes where there's like financial constraint, you don't have internet connectivity in many areas of the world, you don't have a lot of like ability to find connections. Not everybody is born that lucky. So I wanted to solve that, and it so happened that ChatGPT just came out, and I felt like this was a completely game-changing era in our history. It also happens to be our core mission at ThoughtForma, a place where we are trying to marry the elegance of AI and the might of no code, or vice versa. And our mission is to allow anyone with an idea to ship it the soonest possible way without drilling a hole in their pockets and with zero cost of failure, which we feel is very important for every ideapreneur out there. If your idea doesn't work, the platform shouldn't make money either. So it's a failure for both the people, and it helps like figure out more productively, like better ideas that get built, better things that come out of the platform. It's a good partnership. We feel that there is a lot of work needed for inclusivity and empowerment across the globe. And we feel no code is a movement that will be the driving force to equalize and democratize the ability to build stuff for the world. Okay, I want to quickly go through the things that we feel is gotta be created through no code as a movement. And the first is obviously the democratization of the ability to participate in the creator economy. The ability for anybody to come and create what they want at zero cost and get the thing out in the real world from what was just an idea without a dev team, without having to hire people for it. Um, I think it's just fascinating to me that we didn't have such an ability 10 years ago and stuff. We want to bring impact to marginalized founders and underrepresented ones. Like we've already helped about 100 in the last 6 months bring ideas to life from like over 28 countries. And we've been able to achieve it like in a very easy fashion. And we feel like we are just getting started. It's these people that like come to us who are like the unlikely app builders, like the nurses, the dentists, who have always had the ideas for like 10 plus years, but they've never had been given the ability to like build it because they felt like to build something, they needed like venture capital, they needed like people to fund them, they needed like a dev team to build it for them. So these are the people that we want to help, the people without the capital or the connections, the people who are the unlikely app builders who could actually bring impact to the world if given a chance. The next thing is from Bertha, who is a 65-year-old from London who was actually part of our boot camp at ThoughtForma. She built an application at the age of 65 and, well, 64, and she turned something that she'd had as an idea for like 8 years, and it was brought to reality. And while she did it, she learned about Figma, she learned about Notion, and she learned about like how to build things using ThoughtForma. And she started a new career after retiring as a nurse. And it just brings us like so much joy to like see that happen. And we want to like make sure that we are able to bring that ability to a lot more people. The other person is an immigrant kid called Adi from Japan. He was a 14-year-old who started to use ThoughtForma in a hackathon in his high school, and he later turned on to become the IT head of the high school that he went to at age 14, and he's making over $3,000 a month. Like, that's more than what I made in the first year myself. Okay, the other part was like Addy has been like gone through a lot more challenges than anybody else. He lost his parents 2 years ago in a tragic accident, so he had decided to not go to college. But in this means, like he discovered that he could, like he started collecting money, and now he's been sponsored by his organization in Japan to go and study for free in the college that he really dreamed to be in. That's the kind of impact that we're trying to build to the world, and we feel like no-code and AI are going to be the driving forces behind it. We want every single person out there to take a bet on themselves, and we feel that if you don't take a bet on yourself, no one else will. So we want to bring all the ideas that are stored on the napkins and on the diaries and in the journals that land up in the bin or in some corner or some bookshelf. We want to bring them to life. And I want to point out that there are just so many ideas, and like I've been able to like build a lot of things in life, things that got acquired, things that got 1 million users, but there were just like 6 of them out of the 57. And that's what we want to do with ThoughtForma as well. Just keep testing out ideas until something sticks with people, and that's how you succeed. It's a constant thing. We we really emphasize on the fact of like not letting your ideas die, and you never know where it will take you. You could build the next Airbnb, or it could be a side project that you sell, or something that lands you a job like I did in your favorite tech startup, or pivot to a new career in tech. Okay, the next part I want to stress about is the no code and the no limits. So zero failure cost. If your idea doesn't work, you don't have to pay anything for it, and you don't lose 100K or your life savings just by testing out a new idea in the market. You don't need a dev team for it. You don't even need expertise to build an MVP of your idea. The autonomy that no-code can bring to the teams is uncanny. If you're a big organization and you don't want to stress your IT company or IT like team too much, you can build ideas on your own and test things out before you hand it over to them. The other part is like the creator economy and the participation in it. You can build an AI-powered micro tool that will get you thousands of dollars a month. Like you can raise venture capital like 2 people that did, and you can also get acquired like Swapstack. It was a newsletter platform built entirely using no code that recently got acquired by ConvertKit. That's Beehive's acquiring Substack, and that's Watsil, who's built 3 tools which make over like 12K and 7K each a month, entirely using no code. I believe that no code is the ticket to tech. You can freelance, you can build stuff for others, you can build something of your own, or join a startup by building proof of work, just like I did. It's very simple, just start shipping. We want to talk about the speed and iteration, and we feel that speed is the #1 determinant of success when you're building something new and when you're building an idea. We feel that if you keep building and keep getting better at it, like ideas are a constant thing. Like you keep getting better ideas as you keep building them until something sticks with people and you become a successful founder. And I want to quote Farza from Bill Space. The greatest ideas are forged, not found. Just pick one and keep iterating. Now, on the same lines, and after the code, we have built something really cool at ThoughtForma. It's called conversational building. and we feel it's got to be the future of building software. Okay, I want to talk about how this would work. So we've all used ChatGPT, and we know how cool that is. We want to bring that forward into software and how to build that. So you can simply build things now by telling the AI co-founder what you need so that you actually focus on the business and what matters for growing that. Okay, this is actually how it looks. You can bring your idea to life in under 30 seconds and don't let it die to the world. So if you're at a dinner and you have this brilliant idea for making the Uber for cats, you don't have to actually explain it. You can get it live in under a minute. You just have to put in your URL, the Uber for cats, and in about 30 seconds, you'll have a landing page, you'll have a shareable link, you can start collecting emails, you'll have an elevator pitch, you'll have a peek at your UI. So the reason why we're trying to build this is we've had so many conversations with people who've had this idea for like months and they just can't get the logo right, they can't get the right domain, they can't get the right like landing page design. We want to solve those like months and weeks like and make it like as quick as 30 seconds for you. In 30 seconds, you have an idea, start collecting emails, see if it sticks. And we want to make sure that you don't get into the idea maze of like just figuring out the technicalities and then you forget like you're actually building a business and you need to start by talking to your customers first. And if you have something to show to them, it doesn't have to be the actual platform, because if you keep building in silence and like you have something brilliant that comes out 9 months later, you've put all your savings in it, and then nobody cares for it. So instead, we want to help you start with feedback. These are some of the ideas that we've brought to life yesterday we were at the event. And you can actually iterate on all of those ideas simply by telling the AI founder, what else do you need? It's as easy as using ChatGPT, and it's really powerful. And our vision is to like be able for you to be able to build like full-scale applications using English language, and that's exactly where we're headed. If you want to try it, please head to booth B1. We've shipped over a 50 plus ideas yesterday, and we'd love to have you on board. And the future of no code as we see it is really, really exciting. And we would love for you to come and shape it with us and also stand a chance to win $1,000 while you do so by simply asking, and telling us a few questions and answers. That is it. Do you have time for questions? Are there any questions? Nope. Hi. Yep.
We have a question.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much. It's very interesting regarding the ideas about the creativity. And now I'm very interested about how do you foster creative thinking in your company, in your team. Maybe you have any idea tips for founders, because you are talking mostly about ideas, about innovation, about this platform. And nowadays we know that AI is strongly depressing people, because now we should use a lot of creativity and innovation. How do you foster it in your company, in your team? Maybe some tips? Thank you.
Well, that's a really good question. We have actually been very optimistic on the AI revolution, and it has expanded like our team's productivity by at least 10x. And we feel that we can extend the same thing for the rest of our users in terms of culture. We feel that there's obviously use cases of AI where it does like a far better job than even humans. But there are things like design and optimization and copy that can convert people into users for you, which we still think there's a lot of human intervention needed. And we feel that there is a lot of balance. And we feel like it's a volume question. If there was an ideapreneur with like more than 100 ideas in a year, Like he could only build maybe 10 at max if he was a serial founder. We want to make sure that everybody is able to do that, and not just 10, maybe all 100 of them. Um, if it's just gonna take a minute for you to like get a page out, like you're able to like test 100 ideas that the world might need, and we feel that if you keep testing those ideas and people are able to like give you that feedback, better products are gonna come out for the world, and better things will be happening for founders as well if they're able to acquire more people a lot easily. And we just don't want to restrict, like when we want solopreneurs to like win at whatever product they make, we make sure that our focus is towards optimization. We just don't want to build another tool for you to like bring websites live or like edit landing pages. We want to make sure that every single thing that is created on ThoughtForma is lucky enough to like get users on board. If there are a million ideas on ThoughtForma, we want 90% of them to succeed. And the way we think about it is like keep iterating. You will find the right fit. Every single person has a unique strength and a unique understanding of one problem, and we just want to make sure that they're able to solve it for the world.
Thank you
Yep.
so much.
Yep.
It's great that I can build a landing page or whatever from a glimpse. So having a landing page and something to show to other people, but where to get the people. So Uber for Cats is nothing or someone has waited for. We have to tell them that it's there. So how do you help your customers to get feedback from the market to evaluate if their idea can succeed?
Well, that's a question that we can solve easily at the booth while we explain how we've structured the copy and the format of the pages itself. But in easy words, we want the person to do the job himself, because we feel that a lot of the times, even if the idea is perfectly understood by you, you end up solving a problem that is very specific to yourself. And we want people to start putting in the effort towards understanding the problems, because I have been in that like spot so many times where I've like worked out an idea for months and then it comes out, and I love the idea because I'm like an artist, like falling in love with my craft, but like nobody else cares for it. And we want to teach people how to take feedback as well, and how to not take it personally and build something that people truly want and care for. And to do that, we literally can't automate it. You need to just step out and start talking to your customers. Like show them the product, like if there's someone walking in the park or it's a colleague or somebody on the road, like talk to them. That was a very generic statement, but like just talking to people will actually get you the results. And we don't actually want to automate that or like break it or solve it for them, because that's the effort, and we think that is the most like minimum viable value that an entrepreneur needs to have to be able to build that idea to life. The only part that we want to solve is the building and getting things to life. Like what would take you 6 to 8 weeks and probably add a lot of friction, you get it in 30 seconds. Okay.
Hello, well, thank you for the presentation. As we saw, you created like 57 projects and some of them succeeded. Now that you have like a lot of experience, can you tell us a kind of like roadmap that that you follow in order to ship fast? We've seen that you can use some AI confounders, but for example, do you tell yourself, okay, I need this time to find an idea, I need to spend 3 weeks on building the MVP, and like 1 week to create the website? I don't know. Do you have a kind of roadmap that now that you're used to it
Yeah,
to follow?
I do actually. So I've always worked in like 6 week sprints. Well, the Ideapreneur, this AI co-founder solves like nearly 2 weeks of it. But my step one is to like just get something out there, get a landing page out there, start like share it with 25 people. Use like Twitter. I think Twitter is the best platform for you to get started, or Product Hunt, or it could be any place. Like it could be Reddit, it could be Facebook. It depends on the niche where you're at. Like get the first 10 people, start a conversation with them, and if the 10 people give you an idea or like related problems, like then you're able to pick the first, like the most recurring one. When you pick the recurring one, like use no code to like solve it in the most minimum viable way. make it free for the first like 10 days or the first 10 users, and then get the feedback in. Once you have the feedback and the 10 people are like willing to pay you at least $5 a month for it, that is when I start building the actual prototype or the MVP. And once I have like nearly 100 users on the MVP, that's when I take it to the next stage, or when you start building it in a more serious fashion. You actually don't need to have like a domain or a fancy logo or anything. Just use boilerplates, get something out there, use what is already available in the market using no code. Uh, and each can be a different case. Like I've built like directories based on like Software or Glide. Like there have been apps like on Bubble, which I've like spent on like months building and they didn't succeed. But something was as simple as like a YouTube editor directory on Software could be sold like for about $1,000 in a day. So it's a never-ending process, but it's always good. I also want to like say you can actually build some really good things over a weekend. So the advice I have is to like keep taking bets on ideas. And there are some cool hackathons, like one that I host is called No Code Weekend, which you can join in. We take 2 days, and in a very limited time, you're able to ship something new. And we've had a lot of ideas that have come out of it, which have succeeded in terms of becoming something big. Or just like it's just good to build your builder muscles, and you just get better at it over time, I feel.
So how long would you say you take to ship something?
6 weeks.
6
I always work in 6-week sprints. 1 week for the landing page, 1 week to get feedback, 1 week to build the MVP, 1 week to validate the MVP, 1 week to figure out the 10 customers, 1 week to like make the decision on whether I want to stick with it or not. You're welcome.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing your story. So my question is, maybe you have already integrated something like this, or maybe you have thought about integrating it. So is there some kind of market research when I enter my idea? So maybe there is
already, yeah. So it will figure out the keyword density based on RFs and like figure out what people are actually searching for. Then create 3 ideas based on that, even on the landing page. And then the next step is to create like frequently asked questions based on what people are searching for on Google Trends. It lists the first 3 that people are likely to like read and go like, I've had that problem before, like maybe that's something interesting. We've also embedded like an elevator pitch for you within the landing page itself. So like when you're sometimes in the spot and you're not able to articulate things really well or talk about your idea in public, you can always just pull out your phone and show it to them. And if there is an idea at a party or someplace, and instead of writing on a napkin or talking about it, just get a landing page out and get them to sign up on that landing page. It's just a great way to like collect emails and start building. Yep. Any more questions? Okay then. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.